Hello, beautiful souls. You are now listening to Deep Chats with Chris Cypher. And this is your host, Chris Cypher. This is a Cypher speculation on the book of Thomas, the Contender. The book begins with the subtle hidden sayings. The first and second verses read as follows, quote, "The hidden sayings that the Savior spoke to Judas Thomas, which I, Matthias, in turn recorded. I was walking, listening to them speak to each other," end quote. So right off the bat, we have context and an author established. I believe the term hidden sayings of the Savior is used here to describe the private teachings and further explanations that Jesus gave to his close followers. You see, to large groups of people, Jesus would speak in parables or metaphorical allegories in order that those following him would hear and have to ponder his words. They'd have to think deeply about what all of it meant to find their deeper meanings, so that he did not freely give his divine wisdom to just anyone. However, to his trusted and close companions, he gave further description and even higher level spiritual teachings. Shortly further along in the text, it specifies Thomas as Jesus' brother, even going as far to say as he was said to be his brother, quote, his brother and true friend, end quote. Jesus goes on to say to his brother Thomas, quote, "Examine yourself and understand who you are, how you exist, and how you will come to be. Since you are called my brother, it is not fitting for you to be ignorant of yourself. And I know that you have understood, for you have already understood that I am the knowledge of truth. So while you are walking with me, though you lack understanding, already you have obtained knowledge, and you will be called the one who knows himself. For those who have not known themselves have known nothing, but those who have known themselves already have acquired knowledge about the depth of the all. So then, my brother Thomas, you have seen what is hidden from people, what they stumble against in their ignorance," end quote. Let's just pause right there for a moment and break that down. Lots of hefty philosophical nuggets of wisdom to unravel there. Firstly, Jesus approaches Thomas with a deep intellectual charge, a charge of the attainment of self-acknowledgement, the understanding of oneself. Jesus tells Thomas 4 powerful things: to examine himself and to understand who he is, how he exists, and how he will come to be. Basically telling Thomas he needs to know himself on a deeper and more personal level. Jesus then reveals to Thomas that knowledge of oneself is acquainted to, quote, knowledge about the depth of the all, end quote. This strikes me as a particularly Gnostic viewpoint, being that Gnosticism, or gnosis, is the knowledge of spiritual mysteries, in this case likened to the phrase, quote, knowledge about the depth of the all, end quote. And that as individuals made in the image of God, we too depict the nature of the all within ourselves. Therefore, quote, what is hidden from people, what they stumble against, end quote, derives from the ignorance of our own nature, a lack of true self-acknowledgement. Thomas goes on to ask Jesus to further explain what this knowledge is that is hidden, saying, quote, that is why I ask before your ascension, when I hear from you about what is hidden, I can speak of it, and it is clear to me that the truth is difficult to accomplish before people, end quote. Jesus replies to Thomas, quote, if what is visible to you is obscure to you, how can you comprehend that which is invisible? If the deeds of the truth visible in this world are difficult for you to accomplish, how will you accomplish things of the exalted majesty and fullness which are invisible, end quote. So let's just break that down before we continue. So following Jesus's revelation to Thomas that the knowledge of his own self is higher wisdom, or, quote, knowledge of the depth of the all, Thomas seems to misunderstand his words, getting wrapped in the mundane details, as we all sometimes can, even going as far as for him to state, quote, when I hear it from you, Jesus, about what is hidden, I can speak of it, end quote. In my speculation, Thomas is unwittingly seeking outward validation for a personal inward discovery, of which it is his own responsibility to attain, saying, quote, it is clear to me that the truth is difficult to accomplish before people. Therefore, his first mistake being worrying about others opposed to focusing on learning himself. For it matters not what others' opinions are, only that we have a solid understanding of our own self's nature and viewpoint, to which Jesus admonishes his skewed and small-minded viewpoint by offering him an insightful counter-argument, asking Thomas, quote, if what is visible to you is obscure to you, how can you comprehend what is invisible? Basically asking him, if you cannot understand yourself, which is apparent and right in front of you, then how can you even expect to begin to understand greater knowledge, which surpasses perception? Going on to ask him, quote, if the deeds of truth visible in this world are difficult for you to accomplish, how will you accomplish things of the exalted majesty and the fullness which are invisible, end quote. Pretty much telling him, if you cannot understand yourself and control your thoughts, words, and actions on this physical plane, you will not be able to attain the spiritual wisdom and power of the energetic or higher planes. In order to grasp and utilize our energy, we must first thoroughly acknowledge and take control of our lower mental, physical self. So what Jesus is trying to tell him here that the knowledge is already within you. And when you learn more about yourself, you learn more about the all, about eternity, about infinity, which ourself, is comprised of. So we are depictions of the ultimate, and the ultimate is in our likeness, or we are in the likeness of the ultimate. So Thomas is going through this journey of self-acknowledgement from the very beginning. And that is the beginning of our spiritual journey. That's the beginning of our self-betterment journey, learning more about us. A lot of times we like to try and understand what is around us. And a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge seems hidden because we neglect what is right in front of our own eyes, our very own self. And it is only when we take the time, energy, and effort to understand our very nature that we understand the nature of that which is around us, as well as the nature of the all, or the nature of the absolute.